Ladies and gentlemen, 2022 is going to be an interesting year politically in the States with the midterms and some other key elections. And one of the candidates, especially in the Senate race in Georgia, would be somebody well known to the followers of this channel, well known to followers of college football, of NFL, of USFL, of the Olympics, of mixed martial arts. Now, we're going to be talking about Herschel Walker in this three-part series. This is part one. We're not going to touch much on his political career because as a Canadian, I really am not an expert on what he stands for or what he doesn't stand for, because I can only judge him as an athlete. Now, we did a previous podcast on the mega trade at Dallas, sending him to the Vikings, and that's still in their channel if you want to check it out. So the first part, we'll talk about his early career leading into college. Second will be mostly the USFL career, and of course the trade and the NFL career, which led him into other packs of life. Now, Herschel Walker, for me, pound for pound, one of the greatest athletes ever in the United States college system. From Wrightsville, Georgia, born March 3rd, 1962, recently had his 60th birthday. Now, 6'1", 225, but that 225 felt like 1,000 pounds when he hit some of the defensive players. Now, he's a former American football running back. He played college football for the great University of Georgia, earning consensus All-American honors 3 times, and won the '82 Heisman. He is considered to be one of the greatest college football players of all time, ranked number 1 by Bleacher Report, 247 Sports and Sporting News, and number 2 by ESPN. Now, for me, he's up there with Montana, Flutie, Eric Dickerson, Tom Clements, players like that. Really was an impact player. Again, he started his pro career with the Jersey Generals of the USFL before joining the NFL, initially with Dallas, who drafted him, then was sent to Minnesota in a huge trade in 1989. He later played with the Eagles and the Giants. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1999 at the young age of 37. Now, Walker was born in, again, some say Wrightsville, but other people say Augusta, Georgia, to parents Willis and Christine Walker. Again, he was raised in Wrightsville, Georgia. He was one of 7 children in a hard-working, blue-collar family. Walker said in published reports that as a child he was overweight and struggled with stuttering. Walker's mother taught him not to use these problems as excuses in life, and boys, he reached for the glorious ring that he knew was there for him. Now, when he attended Johnson County High School in Wrightsville, he played football, basketball, and also was a track star. He played for the Johnson County Trojans high school football team from 76 to 79. In his senior year, he rushed for, get this, 3,167 yards, helping the Trojans win their first state championship. He was awarded the inaugural Dial Award as the 1979 National High School Scholar Athlete of the Year. Now, this is where he came to my attention. I was a young high school student at Dalhousie Regional High in northern New Brunswick, and we knew that he was going to either go 3 places: the CFL, to Heisman victory with whatever team he was with, or probably the NFL, because at the time, big college players would be heading to the CFL. I give you an example. Warren Moon. He toiled with the Edmonton Eskimo program before going to the NFL, and like I said, the CFL scouts were scouting him heavy. NFL, there was no USFL at the time. Now, Walker was also selected as an athlete scholar delegate by the American Academy of Achievement in June 1980 and received the Academy's Golden Plate Award from council member Coach Tom Landry, his future head coach, at a ceremony in 1981. Now, on July 4, 2017, with all this early success, during Wrightsville's annual 4th of July celebration parade, Trojan Way, the street where Johnson County High School resides, was officially renamed Herschel Walker Drive. Now, also a standout athlete, like I said, multi-sports. He competed on the Trojans track and field team in events ranging from the 100-yard dash to the shot put. He was quite good in the shot put. He won the shot put, 16 meters 56, 100-yard dash in 9.5 seconds, and a 220 dash, 21.5, at the GHSA Class A State Track and Field Championships. Now, he also anchored the 4x400 team to victory with a time of 3:24:01 minutes. Walker also competed as a sprinter at the University of Georgia, where he was a 2-time All-American selection. He was an All-American in 81 on the 4x100 relay, and again in 1982 in the indoor 60-yard dash. He was also a member of the SEC champion 4x100 relay squad in 81 and ran the 100 meters in a personal record of 10.23 seconds in 82 and also ran 10.10 wind assisted, which would qualify him nearly top 25 in 2022. He was that good. He improved his high school 100-yard dash time in college from 9.5 to 9.3. He also competed in a 55-meter dash in 83, recording a time of 6.11 seconds. Now, after graduating from high school as a school valedictorian, he ran running back and was on the track and field team for the University of Georgia, again where he was a three-time All-American in football and track and winner of the 82 Heisman Trophy and Maxwell Award. Again, he is the first NCAA player who played only 3 years to finish in the top 10 in rushing yards, a mark later tied by Jonathan Taylor. During his freshman season in 1980, Walker set the NCAA freshman rushing record, later broken by Taylor, and finished third in the Heisman. Walker was the first true freshman, not a redshirt freshman, to become a first-team All-American. Now, he also played a major role in helping Georgia avoid defeat that year and win the national championship with a victory over Notre Dame in the 81 Sugar Bowl. He won the Heisman as a junior. Again, he was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 1999. Now, at the time, he was the most sought-after high school player in the nation, signing a national letter of intent to play for the University of Georgia Bulldogs on Easter Sunday, April 6, 1980. Mike Cavan helped provide head coach Vince Dooley with his prize recruit. Now, that campaign was quite good for Walker. They eventually clinched the SEC championships on November 15th by taking out Auburn on the road 31-21. Walker did most of the work by rushing 27 times for 84 yards, including an 18-yard touchdown. 2 weeks later, Walker ended the regular season with exclamation point by scoring a touchdown runs of 1, 23, and 65 yards as Georgia defeated in-state rival Georgia Tech 38-20. Walker rushed 25 times for 205 yards against the Rambling Wreck. Now, the Bulldogs were eventually ranked number 1 and 11-0 and were invited to play a traditional football power, Notre Dame, in the Sugar Bowl. This was held in New Orleans on January 1st, 81. Now, Walker had suffered a dislocated left shoulder very early in the game, managed to rush 36 times for 150 yards, including a long run of 23. With the score tied 3-3, Notre Dame failed to properly field the kickoff, and 2 plays later, Walker dove over the top for a 1-yard touchdown run to give Georgia a 10-3 lead. He took advantage of more Irish misfortune as the Notre Dame fumble set Georgia up at the Irish 22-yard line. 3 plays later, Walker was in the end zone again to put Georgia ahead 17-3, and he eventually went on to win 17-10. Now, at the season's conclusion, again, Walker helped his Georgia Bulldogs complete a 12-0 record as the AP voted the University of Georgia number 1 with 58 first-place votes to Pittsburgh 3.5. Walker and his teammates were also voted number 1 by the UPI poll, which listed Georgia with 36 first-place votes to Pitt's 3. Now, momentum of 1980 continued in 1981 as he won 44-0 over Tennessee and 27-13 over the Cal State Golden Bears. Now, the best game was against the Volunteers, where he rushed for 161 yards on 30 carries. Now, after hitting a dip in the season by losing to 13-3 to eventual national champion Clemson, Georgia regained its focus and won out to get to 10-1 by the regular season's end. The loss to Clemson was a rough game, but for Georgia, but not for Walker, as he rushed 28 times for 111 yards, but it wasn't enough to overcome 9 turnovers, including 2 by Walker, by the Bulldogs, and a loss to the Tigers. Now, the multiple victories included that season Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Temple. Now, they went in the Sugar Bowl against Pittsburgh, which was number 10. Georgia was ranked number 2 in the country at the time, and the Bulldogs came up short by losing 24-20. Now, Walker did have 25 rushes for 84 yards and led Georgia in receptions with 3 for 53. Now, that was the famous Dan Marino game where it was the battle of the future superstars, with Marino, of course, winning it when Marino passed to John Brown for a touchdown late in the contest, 35 seconds. Now, 1982 was another rough season for Walker injury-wise. He had suffered a fractured right thumb in practice on August 21st, 82. He was expected to be out of action for 3 to 6 weeks, but when the season started, Walker wore a bulky padded cast in his right thumb, and they did beat Clemson 13-7. But you notice the trend here. Georgia wasn't scoring more points. It was ball control. Now the big game, of course, was a contest against Brigham Young. And you won 17-14. That was the Steve Young, Brigham Young squad. Now, as the season went on, he felt strength from perennial rivals: Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Memphis State. They bet Minnesota 29-22. Then Ole Miss 33-10. Walker had a great game: 24 rushes for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns. They bet Vanderbilt as well. And he knocked off Kentucky and Florida State to push his record to 8-0 going to the Florida game in Jacksonville. Now, again, Walker was getting heavy time. He had rushed 34 times against Kentucky for 152 yards. And that season against Memphis State, Walker shattered the SEC career scoring record as his third-ranked Bulldogs swept past the Tigers by 31 points. Now, his season high for the season was at 219 yards against Memphis State on 33 carries. Now, they also defeated Florida, Auburn, and Georgia Tech to complete a perfect 11-0 regular season record and were the number 1 ranked team in the country. Now, when they faced the Auburn Tigers on November 13th at Jordan-Hare Stadium in the slugfest, Walker scored a 20-yard touchdown run within the fourth quarter to give UGA a tough 19-14 lead. Now, Georgia did hang on to win, with Walker getting 177 yards on 31 rushes, including a 47-yard run and 2 touchdowns. Now, Walker was very interesting. He had aspects of Earl Campbell in him, another power back that was very similar to Walker. He had scored a short run, but also have, the speed to burn. Now, in his last regular season of his career at University of Georgia, the Yellow Jackets were no match as Georgia won 38-18. Walker broke 5 tackles and sprinted 59 yards for a score in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs eventually went on to play the number 2 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions at Sugar Bowl on January 1st, 83. Now, this was his SEC title as well, but unfortunately Penn State was too strong for them, winning 27-23 and winning a national title by unanimous vote in both the AP and UPI. Now, of course, Todd Blackledge had the big pass to Greg Garrity, which decided, but having 2 chances at a national title and almost a third was just tremendous. Now, the career statistics don't tell everything but Walker. He showed more dynamite numbers in the USFL and the NFL. In 1980, he rushed 274 times for 1,616 yards with almost a 6-yard run average. Longest was 76. 15 touchdowns with 7 receptions for 70 yards. 81, 1,891, 4.9 average, 18 touchdowns, and 2 on the receiving end, and 82, 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns. So his career in college, 994 attempts in 3 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, 5,200 yards, 5.3 average, 49 touchdowns with 243 yards in 28 receptions. So again, the power back, and he wasn't even in his prime yet. Now, what happened? He decided to bypass his final season. He was a junior at the time, to sign the USFL. And the machinations of that we'll talk about in the next podcast. But if you go on YouTube and see Herschel Walker's playing time, he is the link. He is the modern link to the 1980s style and the 2020 style for running backs. Herschel Walker, an upright runner, not like an Emmitt Smith, not like an Earl Campbell, not like a Barry Sander. He was all power. And you talk about power forwards in hockey, if you want to talk about power back, because Georgia depended an awful lot on him for the offense or the knockout blow. But what Georgia's defense did was give Georgia the opportunity to ball control, to be consistent. I don't think that there's been a better Georgia best 3 years than when Herschel Walker was there. That 3-year period, Georgia became a household name throughout the world regarding college football because of Herschel Walker. And everybody knew it was either going to be three things at the time: USFL, NFL, or CFL. Who was going to pay the money or take the chance to bring him in? And we'll talk about that in part 2 and into part 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is this the first time you're hearing about Herschel Walker? His college career, you only know him for politics or the USFL or NFL. Like I said, go on YouTube and see the great highlights that are there. There's different compilation highlights. It's quite interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, keep your stick on the ice. Bye.